folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce for the 15th of August, 2013. How you doing? This is the Views Express. If you're listening on the website at freeamericaradio.weebly.com, thank you very much. If you want to join me in chat, come on over to Spreaker.com. Spreaker.com/user/liberty free liberty radio. Spreaker.com/user/free liberty radio. Yes, join me in chat, say hello. I got a lot to get to today. I did a Wayne S. Pierce Show podcast today because it will be off tomorrow. I know that the criteria for iHeartRadio is to have consistent shows every day. They should go back over the year and a half that I've been on air. Other than being literally ill and laying on the couch, I have been doing this show for coming up in a couple of months. Probably it's going to be 2 years. So I plan on going to the next level. iHeartRadio is just another forum, another opportunity, which, of course, if they accept my request, that would be great. If not, that would be great, too. Hang on just a sec. The things that are going on today, man, can we just say we're screwed and go from there? Can we just accept that all this stuff is done, that we've been taken over by a tyranny, that we have been taken over by the banks and the foreign interests, and we have, really screwed ourselves by allowing our politicians to run roughshod over our rights? Can we just admit to that now? Or are you going to sit there and still think that Obama's the greatest thing since sliced bread? Well, let me tell you something. I'm going to be very honest here. I don't pull any punches on this show. If I did, I wouldn't be me. So all you people that voted for Obama the second time around, shame on you. That's just the way it is. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Check out the articles I have up there. Also, if you want, you can go to the Wayne S. Pierce Show Facebook page and check that out. I have some articles up there as well. Everything is changing. This show is changing. The Wayne S. Pierce Show is changing. And we are, or I'm designing a few other things for the future. So, sorry, no problem, got distracted there. So things are changing, things are moving, things are changing. I'm upgrading is what I'm doing so far at this point. It's going to take a couple of levels to really get to where I want to be, but the upgrade is first. The upgrade is first. So you, my loyal listeners, can have a hand in that. Go to the freeamericaradio.weebly.com site. There's a donate button there. You can help me get to the next level. Also on the Wayne S. Pierce Show site, same thing. There's a donate button there. Just help me get to the next level. Free America Radio Network is just that. Free America Radio, not this corporate bullcrap that you hear now. Okay, so we want to get to the next level. I'm looking at just a lot of other things. In the meantime, folks, I shall return.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host, Michael Long. The show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a Journey into Light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/EastlandFilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. Folks, how you doing? This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. You have reached the Views Expressed Live. Yes, this is the 15th of August, 2013. Lots of things are going on today. Next week, hopefully, I'll get Brian Keller from Just BK show on. We'll talk about the happenings in the country and in the world. And you can check out his show as well, Monday through Friday. I believe it's 9 a.m. Pacific, and as of August 27th, 9 p.m. Pacific as well. So he's going to have two shows. You can go check his show out at radiokahuna.com or Euron.net. Either way. I welcome everyone here, especially Glenn from Sacramento. Hello, Glenn. He's in the Spreaker chat, and he takes my show on the road with the Spreaker app. You go to Spreaker.com, scroll on down to the bottom, you'll see all the apps for your iPhones and Androids and other things as well. So anyway, hey, if you got an idea for a show and you got a half hour to spare, it's a free account for a half hour. The rest of them you got to pay for. But go to Spreaker.com, scroll on down to the bottom, look under Resources, and it says Plans. There's a plan that fits your budget right there. So there you go on that one. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Unless you're driving home, then keep your eyes on the road. Alrighty, Len? Okay. Just having fun today, man. It's Thursday. Hey, little program note. The Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed will be off tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Every once in a while, just to give you a little show note behind the scenes, a little, stuff going on here. I'm the only one that runs this show. I don't have a producer. I am the producer. I don't have anybody running the board or anything. It's not some big multi-million-dollar corporation over here. And I make zip doing this show. That's why I say go to the website and help me as far as upgrading the show, updating the show, going to the next level. You can go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com and scroll on down. You'll see a donate button, or hey, there's also a store there. You can promote your patriotism by buying merchandise from the store, and all that does, it helps keep the website up, and I want to upgrade, and the show going. So, thank you very much for that. I'm it. What you hear is what you hear. This is it. So, I'm looking to change that. The Wayne S. Pierce Show and the views expressed are changing. The first thing I plan on doing is upgrading. Website, a way to, do all that. And the whole 9 yards. On that end of it. Now, show-wise, not going to change. Still going to try to get the word out and tell you about the New World Order. Tell you about how to defend yourself in this tyranny that we have. I'm not critical of anyone else who thinks that I'm one of those conspiracy theory kooks, because they either have ulterior motives or reasons they can't talk about the same thing that I talk about. So I'm okay with that. If I had a producer and a big business looking over me and sponsoring me and all this, and, I would be concerned as well. But I'm not, because I'm it. So I'm here, and you are there, and you want to know what's going on. And I'm glad to share that with you. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. Or if you're out and about and you're listening to me on one of the Spreaker apps, please wait till you get home. Thank you. FDA finally admits chicken meat contains cancer-causing arsenic. That's from whydon'tyoutrythis.com. Yes, let's read that article. It's posted on Truth Beckons on Facebook as well. You might want to go check that out and like their page. It says here, after years of sweeping the issue under the rug and hoping no one would notice, the FDA has now finally admitted that chicken meat sold in the U.S. contains arsenic, a cancer-causing toxic chemical that's fatal in high doses. But the real story is where this arsenic comes from. It's added to the chicken feed on purpose. Even worse, the FDA says its own research shows that the arsenic added to the chicken feed ends up in the chicken meat, where it is consumed by you and I, the humans. So for the last 60 years, American consumers who eat conventional chicken have been swallowing arsenic, a known cancer-causing chemical. You can go to Philly Birds. Let me spell that out for you. Oh, darn it. I hate these little things popping up on the window. www.phillyburbs.com. phillyburbs.com. Continuing. Until this new study, both the poultry and industry and the FDA denied that arsenic fed to chicken-sended. Let me just say that again. I think these people need grammar lessons. Until this new study, both the poultry industry and the FDA denied that arsenic fed to chickens ended up in their meat. Yeah, chickens ended is one word. The fairy tale excuse story we've all been fed for 60 years is that, quote, the arsenic is excreted in the chicken feces, unquote. There's no scientific basis for making such a claim. It's just what the poultry industry wanted everyone to believe. They lied. By now, the evidence is so undeniable that the manufacturer of the chicken feed product known as Roxarsone or something, Roxarsone, has decided to pull the product off the shelves. You can go to www.grist.org and look under the food safety. There's a link in the article. Continuing, what's the name of this manufacturer that has been putting arsenic in the chicken feed for all these years? Pfizer, of course. The very same company that makes vaccines containing chemical adjuvants that are injected into children. Technically, the company making the chicken feed, the word that I can't pronounce, chicken feed, is a subsidiary of Pfizer called Alpharma LLC. Alpharma LLC. Even though Alpharma now has agreed to pull this toxic feed chemical off the shelves in the United States, it says it won't necessarily remove it from feed products in other countries unless it is forced by regulators to do so. As reported by the AP, quote, Scott Brown of Pfizer Animal Health Veterinary Medicine Research and Development Division said the company also sells the ingredient in about a dozen other countries. He said Pfizer is reaching out to regulatory authorities in those countries and will decide whether to sell it on an individual basis, unquote. A few more paragraphs. Hang on. Continuing, but even as its arsenic-containing product is pulled off the shelves, the FDA continues its campaign of denial, claiming arsenic in chickens is at such a low level that it's still safe to eat. This is even as the FDA says arsenic is a carcinogen, meaning it increases the risk of cancer. Look under the word bioaccumulate. That's what happens. Continuing, the National Chicken Council agrees with the FDA in a statement issued in response to the news that Roxarsone, I don't know, would be pulled from feed store shelves. It stated, this is what the National Chicken Council said. Didn't know there was a National Chicken Council. I'm surprised. They said this, quote, chicken is safe to eat, unquote. Even while admitting arsenic was used in many flocks grown and sold as chicken meat in the United States. What's astonishing about all this is that the FDA tells consumers it's safe to eat cancer-causing arsenic, but it's dangerous to drink elderberry juice. The FDA recently conducted an armed raid in an elderberry juice manufacturer, accusing it of, quote-unquote, crime of selling, quote-unquote, unapproved drugs. That's an article at naturalnews.com. Which drugs would those be? The elderberry juice, explains the FDA. You see, the elderberry juice magically becomes a drugs if you tell people how it will help support good health. The FDA has also gone after dozens of other companies for selling natural herbal products and nutritional products that enhance and support health. Plus, it's waging a war on raw milk, which it says is dangerous. So now in America, we have a Food and Drug Regulatory Agency that says it's okay to eat arsenic, but dangerous to drink elderberry juice and raw milk. Eat more poison, in other words, but don't consume any healing foods. That's the FDA killing off Americans one meal at a time while protecting the profits of the very companies that are poisoning us with their deadly ingredients. Oh, by the way, there's another sweet little disturbing fact you probably didn't know about hamburgers and conventional beef. Chicken litter containing arsenic is fed to cows in factory beef operations. So the arsenic that's pooped out by the chickens gets consumed and concentrated in the tissues of cows, which is then ground into hamburger to be consumed by the clueless masses who don't even know they're eating secondhand chicken crap. Naturalnews.com. Source on that is intellihub.com. Folks, I just don't want to eat now. Sorry for grossing you out. I mean, seriously. Yeah. I'm with you, Glenn. That's just about all I can afford anymore, So don't be eating that chicken McNugget. You don't know what's in that McNugget. And I didn't know chickens had McNuggets. You know what I'm saying? Hey, in the Spreaker chat, I want to welcome Muhammad. Well, thank you very much for dropping by. Appreciate that. Anyway, everybody has a different perspective on everything. And I appreciate the views that other people have. Now, in this article, it talks about chicken feed. Fed to chickens. Which is all arsenic-laden chicken feed, of all things, fed to chickens. Chickens are then, taken and slaughtered and turned into food, which we buy, and the chicken feed is fed to the cows, or the leftovers, whatever. And that is in our meat. Okay, first of all, I know I grossed you out, sorry. Second, they want to kill us one meal at a time, like the article says, and that's true. I don't see this government doing anything really well. I just don't. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe everything is okay. Maybe the TSA and the checkpoints on our streets are just fine, and we don't need to worry about it. Maybe that is for our safety. I'm being sarcastic, folks. But I got to tell you this, and I'm going to be very serious here. You people that have no clue, that look at me and look at other people like Nick Tucker at Distorted Reality or a number of people, Alex Jones, Glenn Beck, Michael Savage, Josh Tolley, anybody, or Brian Keller even. If you look at us and think we're conspiracy theory kooks, get your head out of your ass. Because you have no reason not to believe us when you see it yourself. Because when you see this stuff, you're going to go, hey, that Wayne guy, he on that Views Express show online there, yeah, he said this was going to happen. Yeah. Yeah. I've been studying this stuff well over 30 years. And I didn't believe it either. I'm full disclosure here. I didn't believe it either. And I was trying to debunk it way back in high school and after I graduated. And guess what? Yeah. When one person says it, you call them a loon. When two people say it, you kind of sit there and you're going, really? You guys are just out of your minds. When you see it for yourself, you're talking to those two people going, how did you find this out? I don't know what else to do, folks. I really, really don't. Hey, just a little note here, a little side note. Take you out into the bottom of the hour break. How am I sounding? I'm using my headset, so if anybody in the chat room can let me know. I'm using my headset, and for some reason it sounds better, a little bit clearer, crisper, that kind of thing. If I get too loud, just let me know. It's whatever. So, thank you. Appreciate that. Free America Radio on Facebook. Scroll on down, you'll see, hey, in relationship to the other article that I just read from whydon'tyoutrythis.com, and also references there in that article to naturalnews.com. Here's another article from David Icke. Is the FDA out to shut down the supplement industry? Are they? I don't know. How are we going to get through this life? I mean, what are we, just going to turn into vegetarians or what? I don't know. Quote, you won't believe this, but Senator Durbin has actually reintroduced his disastrous anti-supplement bill. Just as Congress is preparing to recess until the second week in September, Senator Dick Durbin, Democrat, obviously, of Illinois, reintroduced legislation that would deal a deadly blow to nutritional supplements. The senator's office has confirmed that the language is identical to that of his previous bill, the Dietary Supplement Labeling Act, which ANH and USA and grassroots activists nationwide successfully fought in the past. Okay? Now, let's go there. Click on the link that goes to liveinthenow.com. Okay? Senator Durbin has said his bill is designed to stop, quote, mislabeling products and making healthy claims that have no scientific basis, unquote. And, quote, this is from Senator Dick Durbin, Democrat of Illinois, quote, marketing supplements with impure or incorrectly identified ingredients, unquote. If that's the case, the senator should be pleased to know that each of those things is already against the law. In fact, almost all of the bill's provisions are already covered by the existing law, and the few that aren't covered are so vague that they could mean whatever the FDA wants them to mean. The bill requires that the FDA, together with the Institute of Medicine, compile a list of dietary ingredients or supplements that might lead to adverse events or are otherwise deemed risky in some way based on completely arbitrary and non-existent standards. Given the FDA's profound bias against supplements and the skewed anti-science recommendations of the IOM, of the IOM's vitamin D report, there are hardly trustworthy sources of guidance. Creating arbitrary lists of bad supplements or bad doses, especially with no scientific evidence whatsoever, is a dangerously slippery slope. This bill will give the FDA major new powers to curtail supplement sales, and neither the FDA nor the IOM will be subject to any clear standards. They can just make it up as they go along. Even worse, once an ingredient or supplement is on the list, there's no clear process to challenge the FDA or IOM determination, not even if a new or contradictory evidence comes to light. You can read that. I will put that liveinthenow.com article on the Free America Radio Facebook page. Check that out yourself. It's you know why they want to ban all this? You know why they want to get rid of all this? Because they don't like competition. That's pretty much it. They don't like competition. They never have. They never will. The United States government and the Department of, not the Department of, but the pharmaceutical companies are working in collusion with the federal government to shut down every natural, like places like GNC or anything like that. They want to shut them down. Why? Because all these farms that have proven their crops and stuff show significant health benefits and all this, and are curing people, Big Pharma does not like that. That's why they try to shut them down. Going to the Spreaker chat before the bottom of the hour, I want to say hello to the big man, the man with the face for radio, Mr. BK from Just BK. Easiest way to find him is radiokahuna.com. Go check out his show. He's just absolutely fantastic show. So anyway, yeah, so go check out that article there on Free America Radio on Facebook. Is the FDA out to shut down supplement industry? I would have to say yes. Just yes. I shall, folks, be back in 2.5 minutes. Want to know what's happening all around us? You do? Great! Come check out the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. Forever Me by Thomas Amo. Hannah Richards isn't your typical 16-year-old at Wichita Falls High. Fashion, trends, cosmetic, and style are unimportant to her. An avid reader, guitar player, and classic movie and television buff, Hannah marches to the beat of her own drum. Visible only to her father, the town sheriff, and her two best friends, Lauren and Haley, Hannah lives a simple, unpampered life as an Eastie. After coming to the aid of Taylor Monroe, a popular member of the Stilettos at school, and a series of misunderstandings with her friends, Hannah is forced to reinvent herself. She quickly gets caught up in a life much different than the one she knows, where status, glamour, makeup, and appearance and acceptance become her masters. And what of the dark secret that haunts the streets of Wichita Falls? Can Hannah survive the lies, deceit, jealousy, and rage that are now waiting for her around every corner? Will she succumb to the pressures of popularity? Or will she be crushed under the heels of the Stilettos? High school is hard enough just being yourself, let alone trying to be someone you're not. Forever Me by Thomas Amo. Available on the Kindle at Amazon.com.
Listen to DJ Russ on Rap More Than Words, with songs like the Black Eyed Peas' Don't Stop the Party.
This is that original. This has no identical. You can't hack my digital. Future aboriginal.
And Flow Rider, Let It Roll.
Good time, go home. Come on, baby, let the good time go home. Come on, baby, let the good time go home. Come on, baby.
And many more of your rap hits right here on Spreaker.com.
Hey, this is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce. You are listening to the views expressed right here, broadcasting from Spreaker.com. We're here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. But tomorrow we'll be off. Hey, I got to take a day off once in a while. I don't have a guest host, so, it's like, hey, take a day off. What the heck? Yeah, I just have to regroup, man. So much has been happening this week and last week. I'm just like, oh my God, I got to get away, or I'm going to pull out what hair I got left, anyway, hey, the Wayne S. Pierce Show is not going to be on tomorrow, and neither is the Views Express. So if you have any questions, no question is off limits. Just ask. If I don't know, I'll tell you. I don't know. Email your questions to freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. If you have videos or write an article or would like to write an article for Free America Radio Network, I'll post that puppy up online and let everyone see it. And I'll even talk about it on my show. So there you go. freeamericaradio@usa.com. That's freeamericaradio@usa.com. To answer Brian, Mr. BK, in the Spreaker chat, the answer would be no. Just saying. Just putting it out there. You know what I mean? Hey, let's get on with the show, shall we? Free America Radio, on Facebook. I want to say hello to Glenn from Sacramento. He should be leaving to go home by now, but if not, hey, I'm sure he'll be leaving soon and listening to the show on his iPhone or Android phone. You can get those apps at Spreaker.com. Just scroll on down to the bottom. Look on the bottom right. I think they're still there. And there you go. Now, anybody in New Jersey? Is there anybody in New Jersey over there? What's going on over there on the other side of the continent? Anybody in New Jersey over there? I know I sound like I'm from New York or something, right? Hey, don't mess with them New Yorkers, all right? I'm just saying. You'll wind up somewhere. You don't want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Just kidding. I have family that live in Manhattan. I'll leave it at that. No. My cousin lives in New York. Those folks over in New Jersey listening to me, how about this? A New Jersey city is now placing police officers in watchtowers to monitor the public below like a prison population. Do you think your city will follow suit with DHS grant money? Read the full article at Infowars.com. Give you a price here, a little price tag for you. $791 billion. Billion with a B. Okay? You might want to check out that article. Also, get this. Get this. Brian, you linked this up from theexaminer.com. If you are Muslim, you can opt out of Obamacare healthcare reform laws with no penalties. Let's just ban it altogether, shall we? Let's just dump it because obviously nobody wants it. He's going to force it down our throats. You know that, don't you? You know, he's saying, well, we'll pull this out, and we'll give this person a waiver and this company a waiver and all this. And, you know, after the midterm elections, he's going to slam it shut like a trap. You know it, right? BenSwan.com. Citizens Action Network put this up here. Obama bypassing Congress to enact new taxes. Isn't that lovely? Just absolutely lovely. Couple of things here. Let me get into these articles. How's this? From a sheepnomore.net. Sheep No More on Facebook. Let's go check out this article, shall we? Jesus. Jersey. There you go. There you go. Oh, God. Let's get to this article, shall we? From a sheepnomore.net. Upcoming Trans-Pacific Partnership looks like a corporate takeover, one step closer to globalism. Hey, Glenn, pop this in the ear of Spencer Hughes. He may want to check this one out as well. Says here, I got to find out who wrote this. Dave Johnson over at sheepnomore.net wrote this. Thank you, Dave. You will be hearing a lot about the upcoming Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement. TPP's negotiations are being held in secret, with details kept secret, even from Congress. But the giant corporations are in the loop. TPP is a trade, it's in quotes, agreement between several Pacific Rim countries that is actually about much more than just trade. It will be sold as a trade agreement because everyone knows that trade is good, but much of it appears to be, from what we know, a corporate end run around things we the people want to do to rein in giant corporations like Wall Street regulation, environmental regulation, and corporate taxation. Hang on just a second. Didn't want to cough in your ear. One-sided process. The TPP process appears to be set up to push corporate interests over other interests. The TPP is being negotiated in secret, so what we know about it comes from leaked documents. Thank you, whistleblowers. Even our Congress is being kept out of the loop. But 600 corporate representatives are in the loop, while representatives of groups that protect working people, human, political, and civil rights, and other environment are largely not in the loop. This one-sided participation unfortunately indicates that the interests of the giant corporations are likely to override the interests of working people and those who want to protect non-corporate interests. 1 second. Never drink soda before the show. Just saying. Otherwise, let me continue on with this article from sheepnomore.net. Otherwise, there would be more representation by representatives of organizations representing these concerns and greater transparency in the process. TPP is a very, very big deal. The coming TPP is a very, very big deal. If it is agreed to by the Senate and signed by the President, it will override American laws in many areas. We won't be allowed to enforce laws and regulations that impede the quote-unquote rights granted to big corporations under this agreement. And it will be very hard to rescind the agreement once signed, no matter how much damage might result. Just look at how NAFTA, China's entry into the WTO, and other agreements were causing huge trade deficits and sending jobs, factories, and industries out of the country while dramatically increasing income and wealth inequality. Making the TPP work for we the people should be up there on our litmus test of things we require of our elected officials, right along with the pledging no cuts to the Social Security and Medicare. TPP, not just trade. It looks like TPP will go way beyond what most of us would consider to be a normal quote-unquote trade agreement. TPP, negotiated by giant corporate interests, appears set to give giant corporations a veto over a country's ability to set many laws and regulations that are designed to rein in those corporations. Yeah. Leaked documents appear to show the negotiators are writing provisions that will set rules that are binding on Congress and our state legislators. Tell us what laws and regulations our own country can pass or enforce in areas like 1. Intellectual property rights like patents and copyrights. 2. Government procurement like Buy America, which would be banned. 3. Investment and land use. 4. Service sector regulation. 5. Food and product safety. 6. Corporate competition. 7. Labor. 8. Even environmental standards. 9. Leaks show that TPP even limits government regulation of financial services. Dean Baker explains that non-trade items like patents in an agreement like TPP can have a huge effect on us, dramatically increasing prices of items like pharmaceuticals in political corruption and the free trade racket. Quote, tariffs and quotas might raise the price of various items by 20 to 30%. By contrast, patent and copyright protection is likely to raise the price of protected items 2,000 to even 20,000% above the free market price. Drugs that would sell for a few dollars per prescription in a free market would sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars when the government gives a drug company a patent monopoly. Again, there are over 600 corporate representatives participating in the TPP process, but few, if any, representatives of human rights, environmental, civil rights, or workers' rights organizations. And the resulting agreement will be binding on governments. The corporate powers apparently granted in the TPP can override domestic laws on environmental health, safety, labor, and citizens' rights. If this agreement becomes law, multinationals can claim that those domestic laws and regulations hamper free trade and can sue for millions of dollars in quote-unquote damages. Bad history of trade agreements harming economy and democracy. Our one-sided corporate negotiated trade agreements have dramatically enriched Wall Street and a few CEOs. But the devastation that is apparent in many regions of our country, along with the hollowing out of our middle class, tells the real story of what these agreements can do to an economy. For example, we all know what happened since China was allowed to enter the WTO, the World Trade Organization. In the 2000s, we lost 50,000 plus factories and at least 6 million jobs just to China. Because of the massive cost of building a manufacturing infrastructure, it will be very difficult to restore even key industries. But the 1% who pushed this made out extremely well. Even the just-signed Korea Free Trade Agreement is already hurting our economy. It has increased the trade deficit, increased imports, and decreased exports. A recently released fact sheet from Public Citizen looks at the damage of our economy is already experiencing from the Korea, Panama, and Colombia agreements. The section on Korea tells the story. Exports to Korea down 10%, trade deficit up 37%. Big problem. Big problem. We have had a free market for many, many years. It has worked quite well without the interference or intervention of the government. And then comes along President Woodrow Wilson, progressive at heart, knew that he had to do something to please his bosses, really. It wasn't his constituents, it wasn't his people, it was his bosses. And now the banks own everything. When did property tax come along? When did federal income tax come along? After 1913. You may own the building as the house, but you don't own the land. The land is not yours. What? Yeah, it's not yours. You're thinking it was? No, you pay property taxes every year. You're renting the property from the government. Okay? So that right there, we need to get rid of all federal income tax. States have to support themselves somehow, so let's find a flat tax across the board for them to work with, okay? Or just if we have to pay federal income tax, let's just make it 15% across the board for everything. If you're in business and you make let's say you make $500,000 a year, 15%, boom, right across the board. If you make and work for somebody and you don't make $1,200 a month, I don't think you have to pay. But if you do, it should be 15% across the board. Seriously. $1,000. If somebody made $1,000, that's $150. You keep $850. Hello? That's just the way it goes. Simple math. But that's true with any business. That should be true with any individual entrepreneur who wants to start a business. By the way, we need to get rid of about 98% of all regulations as far as starting a business, and we need it a better way to acquire either grants or make it easier for us to start business. I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, make it easier for us to start businesses, and we can go out and grow that business and then maybe hire a person or two from the neighborhood. You know what I mean? Huh. Makes sense, doesn't it? I'm not a number cruncher, so hey, number crunchers out there, send me your information. Tell me why it would or would not work. Please do. I want to hear from you. Take the United States tax code, eliminate all of it, and just have a flat tax across the board at 15%, no matter if you're a business and you make $1 billion a year or you're just some Joe Schmo that's working for a living, making $1,200 to $1,600 a month. That's poverty level, by the way. So why don't we just have 15% across the board, flat tax? Give me why that would or would not work. Show me the numbers. Send that information to freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Oh, and just a little note there for you. If you want to be on the show and explain this, email me. I'll tell you how to get a hold of me. It's freeamericaradio@usa.com. And you can probably be on the show explaining all of this. My brain knows how it works and it knows that it would work and knows that people who are working or owning businesses would keep most of their money. You tell me why it would or would not work. freeamericaradio@usa.com. Speaking of which, go to Free America Radio on Facebook. From Rabbit Hole, they put a photo up there. I read this on the Wayne S. Pierce show earlier today, so after the top of the hour break, I want to break this down even more than how they have it. It's about Agenda 21. Okay, so after the top of the hour break, I'll break that down, and we'll look at Citizens Action Network, who put up a picture here that says, in 2009, Baxter International Incorporated was caught shipping live avian flu viruses mixed with vaccine material to medical distributors in 18 countries. The quote-unquote mistake was discovered by the National Microbiology Laboratory in Canada. How could this have happened? The shocking answer is that this couldn't have been an accident. Why? Because Baxter International adheres to something called BSL-3, Biosafety Level 3, a set of laboratory safety protocols that prevent the cross-contamination of materials. So I'll get into that too as well. I'll also get into the fact that the NSA is targeting t-shirt makers who produce designs parodying the federal agency's involvement in the spying scandal, shutting down free speech by means of intimidating threats of copyright infringement. See? Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I've got more to get into, but you can go to Free America Radio on Facebook, check all that out. I mean, I'm telling you, folks, it's going to get nasty. By the time Obama leaves, if he doesn't repeal the 15th Amendment and set himself up as a dictator with a third term, he's looking at that too. We're screwed. Even more so than what we are now. You know. So, anyway. Just having fun today, folks. It's Thursday. I'll be back after this.
Listen to Angel Clark Monday through Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Radio Freedom News Network. RadioFreedom.us.
Time to take our republic back, folks. Brian Bonner, the uncooperative radio show host, will tell you how. Join us for the ride of your life. Using humor and the facts, we will expose the news that the lamestream media refuses to report. The Constitution is the solution, and we can prove it. Listen in and find out what it means to be an uncooperative citizen of these United States. You can find our show at uncooperativerradio.com, and we are rebroadcast on redstatetalkradio.com.
What's on your mind? Chances are it's on their mind too. Check out Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show. Friday evenings at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Only on Spreaker.com.
For the best Southern, classic, and new rock, along with kicking country and R&B, check out Wildcat Radio. For the Friday night party, the fun begins at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, with local, state, and national news from the Alabama News Network at the top and bottom of every hour. It's Wildcat Radio's Friday Night Party, a division of the Vulcan Internet Broadcast Company.
No elitist dribble, no media spin. Logic over emotion, fact over fiction. The home of independent conservative thought. The Conservative Voice with your host, Jeff Wagner, only on the Conservative Radio Network.
Hey, folks, this is the Views Expressed Live right here. You can go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com. Check out the website, and everyone have a safe drive home today. I just got a word from the Spreaker chat that Glenn from Sacramento is on his way home from work. Drive safely. It's California, you know. Anyway, you can email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. We'll be back right after this. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com.
What are you doing on Sunday evenings? Well, you ought to be listening to The Unnamed Show with Reverend Wayne S. Pierce and Reverend Laura Smith Clemens. The Unnamed Show, airing every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Unnamed Show is the best show on the web.
This is Reverend Wayne S. Pierce right here for the Views Express Live for the 15th of August, 2013. Yes, it is Thursday. Little program note. I am glad you're here. First of all, a little program note. The Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed will be off tomorrow. So, I might make a podcast in the morning and kind of sum everything up for the weekend, but these shows, the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed, are changing. More to come about that. Hey, email me, freeamericaradio at usa.com, freeamericaradio at usa.com. Next week at some point, I hope to have a guest on my show. It'd be none other than Brian Keller, if he's available to do it. Might be a Wednesday. Not sure yet. I'm just got to pick a day here. I got to pick a day. But he will be on the show, and we will talk about all of the things that are happening in the world, including what's happening in Egypt and what's happening in Israel and why Netanyahu is just biding his time, you know what I mean? Looking at the new leader of Iran, and we may look at that powder keg called the Middle East. And it is a powder keg. It is, my God. A lot of people say that we need to, support Israel. I don't have an opinion either way. I really, really don't. I'm going off by what other people have said and what my friends in Stockton, California have said when I was going to church, and going off of the history of Israel and also the 20th century history of Israel as well. The wars, the Palestinians just destroying that whole city, trying to make, Israel their capital. It's just a major problem over there. It's a powder keg waiting to go off. I mean, what the Palestinians and what the Israelis don't understand, I don't even think they know what they're fighting for anymore. I really don't. That war between them goes back over 10,000 years. So I don't really think they know what's going on. Plus, that whole area is being inundated with the Muslim Brotherhood. They are some bad folks, people. I don't want to hear, we back the Muslim Brotherhood. Not we, the Washington, D.C. I ain't touching them. I ain't sending money to them. Washington, D.C. backs the Muslim Brotherhood, the Syrian rebels, Al-Qaeda, to do what? To really put the nail in the coffin of freedom, of liberty, of industrial nations that have been our allies for many, 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 many years. And once they do that, they are going to push the button and World War III will commence. This is what they want. And it's not really that controlled by the U.S. politicians or by Washington, D.C. It's controlled by offshore bankers. It's controlled by the elites. It's controlled by these people that control Washington, D.C. I said before, it's not about your votes. It's about how much money you contribute. These offices that your politician sits in, I don't care if it's your governor or senator or whatever. Yeah, those offices have been bought by Big Pharma, by Big Agra, by the elites, by the members of the Bilderberg Group, by Illuminati. They've been bought. Our votes don't count, folks. Take this scenario and imagine this for a minute. What if, as many people in the U.S. that are registered to vote, what if we all just stopped voting? It wouldn't change. Wouldn't change at all. They'd put their puppet in place, and we'd be stuck with the bull crap to deal with. Wouldn't matter. Wouldn't matter at all. Jeez. Anyway, got off on that one. Yesterday, I had Mr. Nick Tucker from Distorted Reality on the show for an hour. I am going to have him on again at some point And it was great to have him on. He fills me in with information I didn't know, and I fill him in with stuff he didn't know. So, I mean, we're good like that. So, hopefully I'll have him on again, hopefully in the near future. I may, just a little something, him and I may, at some point, don't know when, have a live show together. Don't know. I'm just putting it out there. I'm just putting it out there. Just gonna, Anyway, who knows? And even I've been on Brian Keller's show, Just BK. He's been on my show, so who knows? At some point, who knows? I'm just saying, just throwing it out there. Anyway, Free America Radio on Facebook. Check that out. You can email me, freeamericaradio@usa.com, freeamericaradio@usa.com. From Infowars.com, written by Kit Daniels. Thank you, Kit. City reduces police force by placing public under constant surveillance. In 40-foot-high watchtowers, police officers are practically prison guards over the population. New Jersey Police Department is replacing their beat cops with quote-unquote virtual patrols that can spy on you. The Camden County Police Department recently created a real-time tactical operation intelligence center in order to, quote, help a reduced police force, unquote, by installing 120 cameras across the city, according to My9NJ, which is their news channel, My9 New Jersey. The cameras can record in real time and save footage for future use. The police department also monitors the public with a mobile 40-foot-high sky booth called Sky Patrol, which is practically a prison guard tower. The booth is high enough for police to intimidate the population below while scanning a wide area of the city with cameras, thermal imaging, and other sophisticated spy tech. Citizens have already resisted Sky Patrol, which cost $135,000. Quote, when there's that expectation that you are alone and someone's looking in a window or a fenced backyard, that's a real problem, unquote. Jeffrey Zucker, a criminal attorney, said to the Courier Post of Cherry Hill, quote, if you're on the street or your porch, it's a different matter, unquote. He further stated that the Sky Patrol can test the limits of current police searches. Another attorney, Kenneth D. Aita, said that the Sky Patrol is in a, quote-unquote, very gray area, unquote, of the Fourth Amendment. No, it's not. Quote, every ruling from the court will be based on specific facts of each case, unquote, Aita said. Quote, there is no precedence, unquote. Yes, there is. It's called the Constitution of the United States of America. Get over it. The Camden County Police have already covered 1/3 of the city with microphones, calling them gunshot detectors as a cover story. These gunshot detectors are capable of remotely eavesdropping on your conversations. In fact, they are likely better at recording conversations than detecting gunshots, which are hard to distinguish from car backfires, firecrackers, and other loud noises. In New Bedford, Massachusetts, one of these detectors recorded a street argument without a warrant. The district attorney told the New York Times that he thought that this warrantless recording was admissible in court, claiming, quote, what is said and picked up, unquote, by the microphone in public, quote, does not have the expectation of privacy, unquote. His office even gave the city of New Bedford $50,000 to keep the microphones. That's like you being on your cell phone in a store somewhere or out by your car or something, walking the street, and you're on your cell phone. If you say something that, don't make me come over there, whatever. Yeah, they're gonna get you. Local police departments aren't the only agencies using gunshot detectors for surveillance. Back in January, Paul Joseph Watson reported that the Department of Homeland Security would install them throughout Washington, D.C. The DHS wanted quote-unquote gunshot detectors that could communicate with quote-unquote other detection systems. Nationwide, police departments and federal agencies will continue to introduce Stasi-style surveillance under the guise of quote-unquote proactive law enforcement. I said it before, I'll say it again, we are screwed. If we don't stop it now, we are screwed. I know Brian's pretty pissed off about what's going on. Brian Keller from Just BK over at RadioKahuna.com. There's a lot of people that are pissed. But staying home and being enraged and, yelling at your TV or yelling at your computer screen ain't gonna make things better. Have you seen CSI New York? Have you seen any cop shows that show surveillance? Hell, you can go down, I'm sure anybody can go down to their downtown area and look up on the buildings and see cameras. Yeah. Check it out. I'm not kidding. As a matter of fact, we're going to be going out tonight a little bit, and I'll take my camera with me, and I'll show you. I'll put it up on my YouTube channel at ULCRev62. That's currently what the YouTube channel is that I put stuff on, but that might change because I'm upgrading. I'm just saying, I'm upgrading. So you can help out on that. You can go to freeamericaradio.weebly.com, scroll on down, there's a donate button there, or we want to buy some stuff and promote your patriotism, go ahead. There's a store there as well. But if you can't do it, not a problem. If you do, thank you for your support. Cameras all over the place. You're not going to get away from them. But you can make it very, very hard for them to know who you are. I'm just saying, you can figure that one out yourself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. That's it. That's all I'm just saying there. All right. But anyway, what do you think? Give me the rundown of what you think about cameras on the streets. Give me the rundown. Now, let me go back to this article here for a minute, because it said right here, the police department also monitors the public with a mobile 40-foot high sky booth called Sky Patrol, which is practically a prison guard tower. How would you like to see that in your city? Hey, New Yorkers. I got family in New York. They're in Manhattan. Hey, New Yorkers. What's your nanny Bloomberg doing? Okay, love your theaters up there, by the way. I love how all you people are just coming together and making sure he don't get reelected. So how do you like your surveillance up there, New Yorkers? Talking to you people in the city of New York there, hey. How do you feel about this stuff? Now, what about down there in San Diego? Brian, if you're still in the Spreaker chat, thank you. Appreciate it. How about down there? How about cities like Lompoc or, down around the LA area of San Fernando or San Bernardino or around in there or Burbank? What about the cameras down in LA proper? I mean, come on, folks. How'd you like to see a 40-foot tower on your streets put every other block or every 3 blocks? How would you like to see that? You wouldn't like that too much, would you? Okay? What do you think? Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. I got a few minutes here. I'm going to share this with you. I believe I sent this out to a few people. but it's on Free America Radio on Facebook from Citizens Action Network. Vaccines as biological weapons. In 2009, live avian flu virus placed in Baxter vaccines sent to 18 countries. This is an article by Mike Adams, the health ranger, over at naturalnews.com. There's a popular medical thriller novel in which a global pandemic is intentionally set off by an evil plot designed to reduce the human population. In this book, a nefarious drug company inserts live avian flu viruses into vaccine materials that are distributed to countries around the world to be injected into patients as, quote-unquote, flu shots. These patients then become carriers of these highly virulent strains of avian flu, which go on to infect the world population and cause widespread death. There's only one problem with this story. It's not fiction, or at the least, the part about live avian flu viruses being inserted into vaccine materials isn't fiction. It's happening right now. Deerfield, Illinois-based pharmaceutical company Baxter International Incorporated was caught shipping live avian flu viruses mixed with vaccine material to medical distributors in 18 countries. The quote-unquote mistake was discovered by the National Microbiology Laboratory in Canada. The World Health Organization was alerted and panic spread throughout the vaccine community as health experts asked the obvious questions. How could this happen? Quote, Baxter International Incorporated in Austria unintentionally contaminated samples with a bird flu virus that were used in laboratories in 3 neighboring countries, raising concern about the potential spread of the deadly disease, unquote. Austria, Germany, Slovenia, the Czech Republic. These are the countries in which labs are hit with dangerous viruses, not by bioterrorist commandos, but by Baxter. In other words, one of the major global pharmaceutical players seems to have lost control over the virus, which is considered by many virologists to be one of the components leading someday to a new pandemic. You can read the rest of that article there on Free America Radio on Facebook. I don't know, folks. I mean, I don't take vaccines anymore. I won't take them. Just won't. What else is there? Oh yeah. It's a lot of stuff, folks. Lots. From Alex Jones, the NSA is targeting t-shirt makers who produce designs parodying the federal agency's involvement in the spying scandals, shutting down free speech by means of intimidating threats of copyright infringement. Really? Really? Hang on. I had to mute myself. A Marine Corps colonel speaks out. There's a video there about that. He says, quote unquote, we're building a domestic military. Okay? And how's this for a religion of peace? Muslim Brotherhood supporters viciously burned down 3 churches. That's probably not Islam, the faith of Islam, the Muslims, specifically, whatever. It's just, no. This is what's going to happen here. From Citizens Action Network, vaccine court awards millions to 2 autistic children damaged by vaccines. So that's good. It's just so much. There's just, oh, God. There is just so much. I don't know where to go with this, folks. I really don't. I see these articles every day. I witness what our country is doing, or what President Barack Obama is doing to our country. And I also see that there's not a whole lot of people that want to stand up to save it. I don't see it that way. I mean, there's protesters, people with signs, and protesting Monsanto and stuff like that. I mean, that's all. That's great. I see people on overpasses with impeach Obama. That's happening here in Reno on Saturday, by the way. And that's all great. But are you going to the city councils and telling them about fluoride in the water? Are you telling them about the chemicals, the GMOs in the foods? Are you giving them information and documents about the patents on the machines that disperse chemtrails in the air? Are you giving them all that information? Well, if you're not, there's something wrong with you. Okay? Because if all you want to do is point fingers and argue without putting the information on the table for the other people to see and read and hear and verify, you're just not doing it. You're not going all the way. Well, I don't want to go out there and protest because I'm afraid of getting arrested. What's more important? An inconvenience of being arrested, or a lifelong journey filled with NWO and training camp, or not training camps, but yeah, there are Al-Qaeda training camps here in the U.S., but FEMA camps and stuff like that. Are you ready for all of that? I don't think so. But then again, I could be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. I just know that this stuff happens. I know that as long as I've been studying this, the whole aspect of keeping it, from the general public has just really, really got blown out of the door, because alternative media and people coming forward and saying this is the truth, don't believe that, this is what it is, stuff like that. It's I mean, come on. The NSA is targeting T-shirt makers who produce designs parodying the federal agencies' involvement in the spy scandal, shutting down free speech by means of intimidating threats of copyright infringement. I mean, get this, folks. I mentioned this on the Wayne S. Pierce show earlier, and I went 5 minutes over, but that's all right. State threatens to confiscate child for drinking goat's milk. Goat's milk. The most nutritious milk there is. And they're threatening to confiscate the child for drinking goat's milk. Read the article. It's fascinating. It's at governmentslaves.info, GOVT slaves.info, and Thomas Deshaw wrote that. Now, there are certain things which I don't believe. It's just either just too much or I just don't. Until I track down a story that really puts it all into focus. IntelHub.com, Julie Beal over there at Activist Post as well contributed this article. Forget Real ID. The global smart ID is coming. The grand plan for global ID is to give each person on the planet a way to identify themselves online. One ID number for each person to signify all that they are. This is the full personal profile containing anything relevant for identification purposes. It means all our private details being managed by a corporation in the cloud. If you want to sign up for an online identity ecosystem, you can already do so through Google or Yahoo or by registering with Identity Ecosystem Steering Group. And if you don't want anything to do with it, it'll be tough, if not impossible, to get by in the future, because you'll have to use your global ID to access all government services and healthcare services, to drive a car, and once cash is gone, to pay for everything or anything. Given the atmosphere of mistrust engendered by the system and the constant fear of terrorism, over time it's likely you'd need to validate your identity to get insurance, get a job, or to access buildings. In America, the Kantara Initiative, previously the Liberty Alliance, has been working with the Obama administration to establish this global ID management system and will soon be rolling it out nationwide as a way to minimize fundamental use of electronic health records. The system is nearly made up and running. Trials have been begun. Trials have already begun, meaning anyone who wants to access healthcare in the U.S. will have to produce their smart ID first. Most of the time, you'll be required to provide three-factor authentication, which means something you know, the one and only password, something you have, the smart card and phone, and something you are, your biometrics. Now you can go read that one at it's up on Free America Radio on Facebook. Now, let me ask you something. I just I have to ask. I really have to ask before we go to this bottom of the hour break. I have to ask. We got cameras all over the place. They got facial recognition. That's already there. It's already implemented. Let's say you're walking around the mall, you're doing all that, and you walk up to go somewhere to grab something to eat. MasterCard and IBM have been working together for many, many years. Visa came on board later on. All you have to do is not swipe your card, but wave your card over this little thing in front of you. Now, you won't have to do that. You won't have to do that. When this is implemented, you won't have to do it. You just walk up somewhere, you go to the store, you go grab something, and boom, facial recognition. They know your number. They got you on record. It's right there in the store. They got you on file. Bang, it comes off your card. You just grab your thing and walk out the door. Did you pay for it? Yeah. Now imagine that happening to you. Seriously. Folks, it's getting way too scary. Just absolutely way too scary. It's time to network. It's time to talk to your buddies. It's time to talk to your family. Let's find a way to defeat these people. I'll be back.
Late Night in the Midlands is an alternative media that covers the truth, theory, and fact that the lamestream media won't talk about. We cover everything from the known and the unknown, the normal and the paranormal, the government lies and the government ties, and even their thrive. We tell what's coming, what's going, whether it be politics or archaeologists. We have an amazing fan base, and our shows are all archived to be heard millions of times more. So tell your friends, your family, and anybody you care about LateNightInTheMidlands.com. Become a member and be informed.
Come listen to Journey into Light with your host Michael Long. The show is about looking into the afterlife. Where do our souls go from here? What are the true messages from above? Everybody is family, so make a journey into light with Michael Long your home. With the best guests on the show, they share the love with all who call in and those who are in the chat room. That's Journey into Light with Michael Long, Sunday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, on blogtalkradio.com/Journey into the Light. Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is looking for you. Are you a voice actor looking to hone your abilities? Are you a writer looking for actors? Then Eastland Sci-Fi Radio Theater is for you. If you are a voice actor or a writer of sci-fi themed radio plays, send your information to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. For more information, go to eastlandradiofilms.wix.com/EastlandFilms for more information. If you are a voice actor, send your audition clips to Eastland Radio Films at USA.com. Listen to the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show, Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, right here on Spreaker.com. America Matters. Enthusiastically entertaining, educating, enlightening everyone everywhere, while including a unique mix of all forms of media, including the internet, with continual live streaming available for all their shows. Their website is www.americamatters.us. Listen to America Matters on 101.3 Renegade Radio, krng.streamon.fm, or 99.1 FM Talk Radio, weekends at 99.1fmtalk.com, or 12:30 a.m. at 1230kjfk.com.
What are you doing on Sunday evenings? Well, you ought to be listening to The Unnamed Show with Reverend Wayne S. Pierce and Reverend Laura Smith Clemens. The Unnamed Show, airing every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. The Unnamed Show is the best show on the web.
Welcome back. This is the Views Express live right here on the 15th of August 2013. Thank you very much. By the way, just a little show note, the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed will be off tomorrow. Okay, we're not going to be here tomorrow, so I may make a podcast in the morning and talk about this stuff, and so you'll have that for Friday, but won't have the live broadcast for tomorrow. And Brian Keller from Just BK over at RadioKahuna.com put this up. Federal Appeals Court. Obama administration is violating federal law, quote, without any legal basis, unquote. Also check out Free America Radio on Facebook. Scroll on down from Citizens Action Network. Secret government documents reveal vaccines to be a total hoax. Okay? Total hoax. Let me read you a paragraph or two of that. All right? There's a lot of links in there. It's a very long article. Please check it out yourself at Free America Radio on Facebook. Ethan A. Huff, staff writer for Citizens Action Network. If you have children, you are more likely already aware of the official U.S. Center of Disease Control and Prevention immunization schedules, which today recommend an astounding 29 vaccines to be given between birth and 6 years of age, including yearly flu shots, as well as another 5 to 16 vaccines between the ages of 7 and 18. And that's from the cdc.gov website. But a recent investigative report compiled by Dr. I can't pronounce that name, sorry doctor, uncovers more than 30 years of hidden government documents exposing these vaccine schedules as a complete hoax, not to mention the fraud of the vaccines themselves to provide any real protection against disease. Though her paper, the doctor's paper, focuses primarily on the British health system's elaborate cover-up of the dirty truth about its own national vaccination program, the tenets of the study's findings still apply to vaccination schedules in general, which are typically designed for the purpose of serving corporate interests rather than public health. Government authorities, it turns out, in an ongoing bid to satisfy the private goals of the vaccine industry, Big Pharma, have deliberately covered up pertinent information about the dangers and effectiveness of vaccines from parents in order to maintain a high rate of vaccination compliance. And in the process, they have put countless millions of children at risk of serious side effects and death. I am done with stupid people. Okay, done. I'm done with stupid people. Let me ask you a question. Why do you want to put the poisons in your body? Have you seen these commercials online or on TV where take this for anxiety? Side effects are, they name them, they list them. There's 20, 30, 40, 50 side effects for one pill that's going to help you with anxiety, including death. Okay? Vaccines are a complete and utter joke. They're a hoax. That's it. Done. Okay? Hey, I got the one and only DJ Russ in my chat room. Hi, guy. How you doing? I just ran your promo, dude. Hope you heard it. Anyway, vaccines are a hoax. Big hoax. It's propaganda from Big Pharma saying you need this, you need that, blah, 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 yada, yada. By the way, if you eat healthy and exercise, and believe me, I know that's a mantra for some of you health nuts out there. And I say that affectionately, by the way. If you eat right, exercise, and, watch what you do, you're going to be healthy. I've heard stories of people in other countries living to the ripe old age of 130, okay, and longer. Okay, what are they doing that we're not? We have garbage in our food. We have garbage in our air. We have garbage in our water. We have garbage everywhere. And we are what we eat. And the vaccines aren't going to help. And it was proven that the flu vaccine in this last round of propaganda that they were spewing out at us, there's no basis, medical basis of any factual, I'm talking factual information that they can supply to say that those vaccines are going to protect you in any way, shape, or form. Anywhere. There's no factual evidence, medical factual evidence for that. Go look it up. I mean, I'm not just sitting here because I'm against vaccines. I'm against the government telling me I got to do this. I'm against my state telling me, oh, you have to do it. It's the law. No, it's not. Show me the law. Whoa, no. You said it's a law for me to take a vaccine. I want you to show me the law. The burden of proof is on you now. Show me the law. Here's my documents. Boom. Throw them in front of the doctor. If you have a doctor, throw him in front. Just put the information right there in his hands and say, have you read the insert in that flu vaccine? You haven't? Bye. Have a nice day. I mean, it's just insane, folks. It's just insane. Okay? Here, let me give you this one. From A Sheep No More, an article that that is up there. I've got to go and figure this out here. Hold on. Hang on just a second. Oh, here we go. From asheepnomore.net and also on Facebook. It's a video. There's a link there for the video. The fluoride deception exposes the truth about water fluoridation and the phosphate mining industry. Video information, The Fluoride Deception, is the latest mini-documentary from Mike Adams, Executive Director of Consumer Wellness Center. Through the use of animation and motion graphics, it exposes the truth about where fluoride really comes from, the toxic byproducts of the phosphate mining industry. Okay? I'm putting it out there, folks. Okay? Also from United Liberty on Facebook. NBC talks to businesses about employer mandate finds most cutting hours. Of course, businesses would rather not pay any more than what they do, including the fines for not having these people on their system. So they're going to cut the hours. Sooner or later, folks, believe me, sooner or later, the government's going to come to your business and say, you don't have a choice. You will, here's the paperwork. You're going to sign it now before we leave the office. If you don't sign it, we will have you arrested for putting these people's lives in jeopardy. Oh, by the way, that's under Agenda 21. Oh, it is. It is. I'll read this. Go to Free America Radio on Facebook. The Rabbit Hole put this up. It was a photo by them. Those who are awake know exactly what Agenda 21 is, but for those who are just waking up, let me inform you. It will be the Constitution of the New World Government, or NWO. It will be run by the global elite who will be in total control of every aspect of your life. It will go by the name of Sustainable Development. In other words, we will do what's best for the planet and screw your rights. Tinfoil hat stuff, right? Well, let's take a look at it. Okay. Agenda 21 is a 300-page document divided into 40 chapters that have been grouped into 4 sections. Section 1, Social and Economic Dimensions. This section is directed toward combating poverty, especially in the developing countries, changing consumption patterns, promoting health, and achieving a more sustainable population and sustainable settlement in decision making. Sounds good, right? That's just a cute way of saying wealth distribution, telling you what you can eat, have, telling you how many kids you can have and where you can live. Section 2, Conservation and Management of Resources for Development, includes atmospheric protection, combating deforestation, protecting fragile environments, conservation of biological diversity, biodiversity, control of pollution, and the management of biotechnology and radioactive wastes. Sounds good, right? Sure, if you want someone to tell you what you can drive, designate areas including your property as a development area, and tell you what forest you're allowed in. Section 3, Strengthening the Role of Major Groups, includes the roles of children and youth, women, NGOs, local authorities, business and workers, and strengthening the role of indigenous peoples, their communities, and farmers. Sounds good, right? Sounds like indoctrination to me, almost like Hitler's Youth. NGOs stands for non-governmental organizations. Kind of like everything is unionized. I could easily see Monsanto, quote-unquote, helping, or should I say, poisoning indigenous peoples, their communities, and farmers. Did you forget about that sustainable population thing? Section 4, Means of Implementation. Implementation includes science, technology transfer, education, international institutions, and financial mechanisms. Sounds good, right? The global leadership will indoctrinate the world into believing it is a collective from a young age, since they will be in control of education. One collective thought process that believes in no freedom or individuality, only what's good for the entire world. Since this last section is about the means of doing this, just look at the 2 words of that section. In other words, the banking elite will bankroll the programs the globalists implement so that their sustainable workforce will stay in check. Sounds like slavery, right? There's a picture of a child reading a book, Agenda 21. The meme says, Agenda 21 for kids. Hi, boys and girls. Sustainable development is just like building your own ant farm. Hint. You're the ants. I want to say this, and I know Glenn's probably listening to me on his Spreaker app over on his phone on his way home. So I'm going to say this. I may pass this along to Spencer Hughes as well, but if I don't, please pass that along to him, that article. Very important. Now, here's the other thing, and like I said, a little show note here for you. The Wayne S. Pierce Show and the views expressed are not going to be on tomorrow. We're taking the day off. Diana and I are getting out for a little bit because we have to. We have to. Let's put it this way. It's either that or go knock on the door at the mental health facility and have them wrap us around with a coat that hugs us all day. Okay? I'm just saying. So, no, we're not that bad. We got to take a day off, though. And so we'll be taking a day off. And you won't hear me, but I will possibly, hopefully, be able to do a podcast tomorrow and have it for you there up on Free America Radio Network on Spreaker. And it's interesting. I want to take Free America Radio Network to the next level. So you, my loyal listeners, can do that if you'd like. You can help out by going to freeamericaradio.weebly.com. You can go to the store. You can purchase stuff there, merchandise, promote your patriotism. Or you can donate. Yeah. You can donate to the cause. Yes. I want to go to the next level. I'm looking at other ways of transmitting this show. I will leave it at that. But for now, it's going to be upgrading the website. So I want to upgrade the website, do a whole lot more with that, and be able to give you more information and more opportunities to see what goes on and have some articles there for you to read and stuff like that. So I'm upgrading the website. So if you want to help me do that, you can. Thank you. Appreciate that very much. There's just so much. There's so much going on that when I wake up in the morning, I always see what's going on online. And some of you who are following me on Facebook know that I'm just posting like crazy. Hey, look what I found. Look at this. Look at this. Look at it. And, you don't think I'm really doing any research. Well, believe me, I'm doing a lot of research. I'm reading these articles. Sometimes I read the articles to you for the very first time, and then I give you my opinion on it. Like that one about the vaccines and the one I just read to you just a little bit ago about the Real ID, the digital Real ID. You won't need a cell phone now. If you've, little note here, if you've seen the remake of Total Recall, you know that there was a phone in a person's hand. Okay? His arm and his hand, there was a phone there. Yeah, okay. Can that be possible? With the technology now of implants and all of that, I don't see why not. Is it possible that we could, instead of having a card that we carry around all the time, is it possible that we could have that technology on that smart card embedded into our hand? This is something I've seen in 1994, 1995. A friend of mine and I were talking, and he showed me some articles, and it was literally somebody's hand going over the scanner thingy at your grocery store. Yeah. And I'm like, that is scary as hell. I do not want that. It's the mark of the beast. Oh, really? Are you believing that propaganda too coming out of your organized religions? Holy crap, you need to be deprogrammed. I mean, I don't know it all either, and I'm the first in line to admit that I don't know it all. But I can tell you, with the research I've done for the last 35 years, or coming up longer than that actually, I can tell you that, they're spewing out that propaganda to you to make you believe that if you don't believe their way, you're going to hell. That ain't, no. It's just, I know I just pissed off a whole lot of Christians out there, but I know your game, man. I know your game. You're playing to people. I've got inside information of several churches in Stockton, California, and why they do what they do, and why they didn't change when they wanted to, why they couldn't change because they wanted to. I've got documents, I've got information, I can go and talk to my connections and my sources. The church is the biggest. Let me put it to you this way: even though I'm a reverend and I am that, and if you have any questions about that, are you legal? Of course I am. If you have any questions, please email Universal Life Church in Modesto, California. You go to ulchq.com and email them. Or call them. Their phone number's there. And talk to them. They'll tell you. But talk to anybody in your town. Just don't go to one source. Go to 3 or 4 different ones and talk. Sit down and say, hey, I have a question for you. And ask them the hard questions. One of my sources told me in one of the churches in Stockton that that the pastor there told them personally that if it wasn't for their doctrine of their denomination, they wouldn't be teaching that. If it wasn't for the board of directors of that church, basically, they wouldn't be teaching what they were teaching. They would be teaching a more open spirituality as it truly is. Oh yeah, don't get me started on that. I can go a whole hour on that one, but I don't have time. So if you have any questions, and please ask, I'll be more than happy to tell you. If I don't know, I'll let you know I don't know. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with that, because I don't know everything, and neither do you. So just ask. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. I got 3.5 minutes, folks. Go to the website, freeamericaradio.weebly.com. Click on the donate button. Help me get the website a little bit better and upgraded. That's my first step. Second step is going to be servers. I gotta work on that as well. That's the other one. And the third phase of this upgrade that I'm doing is, getting people on the network. So if you have any questions, no question is off limits. Ask me anything you like. If I don't know, I'll let you know. Email me at freeamericaradio@usa.com. freeamericaradio@usa.com. I'm here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Views Express Live. Little show note. I've said this before. If you just join me today right now, then show note. I will not be here tomorrow, taking the day off. Yes, I know a lot of people are going, well, why are you doing that? You're not going to get followers. I'm not about numbers, people. I'm not about any of that. I'm about getting the information out so that me telling you, and you telling 3 or 4 other people, and those 3 or 4 other people telling other people, and stuff like that. So it's me getting the message out, and I'm going to be truthful. And things are changing for the Wayne S. Pierce Show and the Views Expressed. So, yeah. So stay tuned for more news about that. Also, I don't know about tomorrow night, but the Diana and Wayne's Grab Bag Potpourri Talk Show is usually on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific. I don't know if it'll be on tomorrow, so keep checking here to find out. Okay. Go to their website. Go to that website as well at grabbagshow.weebly.com and check out the site. And, there's just so much going on, so many things. If you have an article that you write, if you have a blog, if you have a website, if you have a show of your own on Spreaker, hey, send me the information. Send me an audio clip. I'll put it up here and promote it for you. Now, if you're selling something, that's a whole different ballgame. But if you just want your show promoted, just send it. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. And I will definitely promote your show for you. In the meantime, folks, I got to get out of here. I got a 3-day weekend coming up. No guest host. Yeah, unfortunately. If you want to be a guest host, please let me know. Free America Radio at USA.com. Free America Radio at USA.com. I'm here Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Remember this, folks. Remember this. We the people have the power, for we are America.